Look, I get it. If you own a valuable IP, you want to protect it. That's why we didn't let those guys make those Outside Xbox branded captive bolt guns for euthanizing horses. Until they came back with a lot more money. Then it was just a smart business move. Even so, we can't help but feel sad when a really cool game mod gets taken down, just because it was an enormous violation of someone's intellectual property rights. Like, yes, protect your IP, but maybe not in these specific cases because honestly they were super fun. Here are 7 awesome mods that you can't play anymore because lawyers. Enjoy!
Expect to see Nintendo a few times in this list because there's no one who likes shutting fan projects down more than the Big N. Don't believe me? I just drew this.
Oh, it's Nintendo? They say throw that away.
Anyway, speaking of things that are on shaky legal ground, you might remember Pal World, the wildly popular game best described as Pokemon with guns. But what if it could be described as Pokemon with Pokemon? That was the question posed by the modder Toasted Shoes, who created a Pal World mod that replaced the Pals with the Pokemon that they were obviously based on, as well as changing the player character to Ash Ketchum, adding Misty and Brock as allies, and even including Jessie from Team Rocket as an early boss. Unfortunately for fans of Pokemon and Pal World, Nintendo didn't see the funny side and nuked the mod from orbit, even taking down videos that showed any footage of it, which is why you're not looking at the mod right now and are instead looking at pictures of the mod and news stories about the mod, which are much less interesting to look at. In response, Toasted Shoes created the Legally Distinct Pocket Creatures mod pack, which cleverly sidestepped Nintendo's lawyers with, yes, legally distinct creatures of the modder's own design, such as Yellow Rat. Yellow Rat, I do not choose you.
Who is that legally distinct pocket-sized creature? It's Electric Yellow Rat!
But hey, at least you can still play Pal World, which, given Nintendo's lawyers and the fact that it is basically exactly Pokemon with guns, is nothing short of a miracle.
That wasn't what we agreed on, and you know that. You're gonna regret this. Pretty soon, I'm gonna be so big, you're gonna beg me to hire you as my goddamn driver.
Grand Theft Auto 5 is full of NPCs, but you wouldn't exactly call them intelligent. For example, they continue to walk around outside while I'm driving. Basically counts as natural causes in a GTA game. In addition to that, you'll notice that while the pedestrians and NPCs you encounter in the game do have dialogue, it's all made up of canned pre-recorded sound bites that don't really take into account the specific circumstances of what's happening. Although to be fair, it would have been hard to predict that. But that lack of NPC reactiveness is what a story-based GTA 5 mod by veteran mod creator Block called Sentient Streets sought to rectify. In it, players take on the role of a rookie cop investigating a conspiracy in Los Santos centering on a deadly cult worshipping an unseen AI.
You fool! Why the hell can't you see? We're all just pawns in this game, assholes!
In actuality, it's AI that powers dialogue within the mod, with around 30 chatty AI NPCs throughout the world with whom you can have natural-sounding conversations.
Tell me, have you ever been on a wild car chase? Because I've got a need for speed that just can't be tamed.
More natural than me at a party. Small talk, am I right? It's a neat idea, but not one that GTA publisher Take-Two were fond of, apparently, as they had the mod scrubbed from YouTube and Nexus mods, but not before it had been downloaded over 3,000 times by players eager for Rockstar's living, breathing world to feel a little bit more living and breathing. Unless I'm outside, of course, driving around. Not much living after that.
Driver.
Do you love Halo but hate the actual story and lore of Halo and the character of Master Chief and wish the whole thing was just the fun multiplayer mode? Then do we have the game for you? Or rather we don't, because the game in question, Halo Online, was cruelly cancelled in August 2016 after a series of closed alpha and beta tests, the feedback for which was presumably, where the hell is Master Chief? Halo Online sounded like a love letter to the classic Halo multiplayer experience, including fan-favourite weapons and vehicles from the Halo franchise, such as the Hornet and the Energy Sword, several new weapons, and both classic and brand new multiplayer maps to use them on. So you can imagine there was a small but dedicated contingent of Halo Online fans who were a bit put out when it was unceremoniously canned, especially as this would have been only the third Halo game to be playable online on the PC. The fans were so put out, in fact, that they decided to start work on a Halo 3 mod called El Dorito, a launcher for the incomplete game that added new features and made the game playable across the world, instead of just in Russia, as the previous alphas and betas had been. Things seem to be progressing well, with a 0.6 release and a trailer for the game released in April 2018, and at one point, over 12,000 concurrent players checking out the latest release. But 1 week after that trailer dropped, Microsoft and Halo developer 343 stepped in, not with a DMCA takedown, but rather a polite request that El Dorito's developers press pause on their current development. In fact, this story has a somewhat happier ending than most legal takedowns, in that 343 not only expressed admiration for El Dorito's success, they also acknowledged it as proof of the level of interest surrounding Halo on PC, saying it lit a spark for the development team, fast-tracking the PC port of Halo's Master Chief collection, and even engaging the El Dorito team in an advisory role as they brought the Master Chief collection to PC. So everyone won. Even Master Chief. He got his name in the title. Good for that guy. He's due a win.
Bloodborne, the grim, gothic, Victorian masterpiece by Dark Souls developer From Software, is very much a third-person action RPG. Or if you're me, a dying simulator. What it definitely is not is a fun kart racing game. And that grave injustice is something that Unreal Engine 4 tech artist and engineer Lilith Walther simply wouldn't stand for, which is why she created Bloodborne Kart, which reimagines the From Software classic as a PS1 kart racing game, complete with scan lines, blocky graphics, and MIDI music.
Tell me, Hunter, could this be joy?
Bloodborne Kart.
Early footage of the game showed that it was clearly made by someone with a great love for and understanding of Bloodborne, taking characters from the game and reimagining them for a racing sim. For example, here we see German, the first hunter, racing in the wheelchair he uses in-game, still holding onto his cane, but now with a massive engine strapped to the back of it to propel him around. Bloodborne Kart was getting pretty close to release, even putting out a release date trailer that confirmed it would include 12 races, 16 maps, and a full single-player campaign complete with boss battles, including a kart race against the fearsome Father Gascoigne. And then, in January 2024, Bloodborne Kart had to postpone its release after Sony got in contact, a move the development team said they honestly were expecting to happen. Sony's request was for Bloodborne Kart to scrub all the Bloodborne branding off the game, which sounds like a lot of work when your game is literally called Bloodborne Kart. Still, the team complied, delaying release until they could retool everything into something now going by Nightmare Kart, which still includes all of the lovely pixely graphics Bloodborne Kart did, and a gothic setting with some stellar music, as well as 20 legally distinct racers and 60 non-copyright infringing maps. Sadly, however, the chance to have a go-kart race with Father Gascoigne is now lost forever. Unless Sony makes another PlayStation All-Stars racing game and wants to add him as a playable character. What's wrong, Sony? Don't you like money?
Before the excellent Shadow of Mordor series showed up in 2017, Tolkien fans were somewhat starved for Lord of the Rings video games, unless they were into Lego, or had a ZX Spectrum. As such, such, some enterprising ring heads took matters into their own hands and made their own Lord of the Rings game, using strategy game Total War Attila as a base.
Come on, you sea rats! Get off your ships!
Thanks to a generous approach to official mod tools, which includes making the game's official assembly kit available for players to use, as well as a terrain raw data resource pack that includes a gigantic 60 gig of in-game production data to mess around with, Total War's mod database is full of not quite legit Total War games set in the Elder Scrolls universe or Westeros from Game of Thrones. Perhaps its most popular mods, however, are the ones based in the Lord of the Rings universe, because of how well that series lends itself to the mix of real-time and turn-based strategy found in the Total War games. One of the most popular and enduring Total War mods was Rise of Mordor, a total conversion mod that added 19 Middle-earth factions to the game, a full, lore-accurate campaign, as well as custom battlefields and Lord of the Rings creatures such as trolls and oliphants. Rise of Mordor was around for ages, seemingly with no issues, right up until early 2022. Then mysteriously, in the same week that the Lord of the Rings film and game rights went up for sale, Warner Bros. Issued a copyright takedown to its developers. The mod was forced to go offline while the developers rebranded, and after throwing to the fans for suggestions for a new name, they settled on The Dawnless Days, ignoring my suggestion, The Road of the Lings: Suck It Warner Bros. So Total War Mordor was over. Still, I'm sure the Lord of the Rings games we've had since 2022 have more than made up for it.
The creature is lost.
Cruel orcs, cruel men. What has Smeagol ever done to them?
Oh no.
Welcome to the Aperture Science Computer Aided Enrichment Center. The Enrichment Center promises to always provide a safe testing environment.
We all love Portal, Valve's brilliant, hilarious, mind-bending puzzle game from 2007, but what if we could have all been enjoying it in the late 1990s? That's the alternate reality dreamed of by modder James Lambert, creator of Portal 64, a spectacularly impressive Portal demake that looks fantastic despite running on hardware significantly less powerful than a modern smartwatch. In his charming announcement video for Portal 64, Lambert explains how he got the game looking so good on an actual N64, as well as his reasons for doing it, which essentially boiled down to, why the heck not?
Now, I never really thought I'd make it this far. When looking back at the first tech demo, I thought it was just kind of cool that you could do the Portal effect at all on the N64, and then I just wanted to see how far I could take the project. And it's incredible to look back at the progress that I've made over these years working on the project, and really see how far it's come.
It wasn't super easy to play. To try it out, you needed a copy of Portal on the PC, then had to grab a file from inside the game's folder, load it onto Lambert's custom patcher, and then you'd get back a file you could load into almost any N64 emulator. And with that sentence, you've probably realized what happened not long after that announcement trailer hit the internet. That's right, Nintendo's lawyers happened. Lambert was contacted by Valve, who asked him politely to take down Portal 64 on account of it using Nintendo's software development kit for developing N64 games. And while Lambert, in his words, wasn't a big enough target for Nintendo to go after, Valve certainly was, and so they had to step in and ask Lambert to put the project on ice so that they didn't get sued by Ninty's lawyers. I mean, I don't think many people are currently developing games for the N64, Nintendo. Maybe want to cut this guy a break? And also, I know you're not cool with Mike drawing Mario pictures, but it's alright if I do it, maybe? And now I'm being sued. Alright, Nintendo, you win this round.
If you're not familiar with it, Garry's Mod is a hugely popular physics sandbox game modded from Half-Life 2, where you can do almost anything you want, as long as it's not exist in the same universe as Skibidi Toilet, apparently. I hope this doesn't affect the upcoming Michael Bay Skibidi Toilet movie in any way.
Is that a real thing?
I don't think I'm capable of making something like that up. One of the main selling points of Garry's Mod is the way that anyone can create and share their own content for other players to use, including maps, animations, and characters. You can probably see where this is going, and if you can't, then here's a Nintendo logo next to a frowny face to give you a nudge in the right direction. Because in the 18 years since it was released, Garry's Mod has seen players importing all manner of IP from other games, including a load of characters and maps from Nintendo franchises like Mario, Zelda and Splatoon. And if we've learned anything over the last 10 minutes, it's that Nintendo is as big a fan of people making stuff with its IP as it is of Waluigi for some reason. Hashtag Waluigi for Smash. Come on. Despite it taking Nintendo almost 2 decades to get around to it, Garry's Mod creator Gary Newman confirmed that in April of this year, Nintendo had requested that all 18 years worth of player-uploaded Nintendo-based content be removed from Garry's Mod. Now my original animation, Skibbity Mario, will never get optioned by Michael Bay, which is probably for the best now that I think about it. Yeah, massive lawsuit, I know.
Hey, thanks so much for watching this video about mods that you can't play anymore because of lawyers. It's kind of tantalizing, isn't it? It's a shame. They all look good, didn't they? And now we can't play them. So what to do with all that pent-up energy that you were going to use to play mods? Hey, why not watch one of these 2 videos here? This one's from us, and down here is one from Outside Extra. Maybe we'll make this about another sort of lore-based thing so you can keep the theme going. And up here, something completely different. Check out either of those, and we will see you next time. Bye!